Okay guys, I'm here at the party yard. It's the last day. I wanted to introduce you guys to somebody cool with a cool rig and show you something a little different here. This is Bob, and he lives in his converted cargo trailer that he tows with a Dodge Ram 1500. And let's go ahead and show you his vehicle and tell you a little bit about his story. You know, a lot of you guys don't want to get out here and try to do this because we make excuses. Everybody's like, well, I've got this problem, I have to see my doctors, I have this problem, I have this problem. But Bob has overcome all kinds of obstacles, and he's loving what he's doing, and he's made it work for him. He has an off-road wheelchair, he has a ramp so it's easy to get in and out. He's got, can I show him the inside now? Yeah. And then I'll let you tell the story and I'll stop talking. People like me when I shut up and let other people talk. He's got solar in here. He's got his fly fishing rods. He's got cabinets. The bed. Over here is a medical cooler that he uses as his refrigerator, which I'll let him tell you about that too. And let's just go ahead and introduce you to him and let him tell a story.
I'm Bob. Been in a wheelchair for 11 years after getting hit by a drunk driver. After 10 years, something just finally popped in my head and realized that, you know, even though I was alive, I really wasn't living. So I decided to hit the road for a year. I built the trailer, and, you know, I'm going to do it for the first year and see where it goes from there. But right now, I've just been enjoying it and enjoying the PAR-TR as well as the RTR, and been a good time down there as well.
And you've been doing it on the road for how long now again?
I just started first of the year.
Okay.
For full time.
Okay.
So
did you build some of this, most of it yourself, or did you have a lot of it done?
I built the whole thing myself.
Awesome.
My brother helped me with the solar panel and the awning that I have on the side, but everything else, all the woodworking, I did myself.
Nice, nice. I see you got the Max Air. Is that Max Air?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Max Air.
Very cool, very cool. And I love this big screen door. That's one thing I miss about my Volkswagen, was having a big door where I felt like I was connected to the outside, not just boxed in like I am with my motorhome now.
Yeah, I can't really shut it because I got plywood in the way, but the 3 panels slide closed so that the whole back end's sectioned off and I can get a good airflow without getting a ton of bugs.
And so what kind of mileage do you get again?
Between 10 and 12.
Okay.
10 and 13.
That's a lot better than I'm doing.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah,
it's still a little shock when you have to pull in and fill up, you know, every few hundred miles, 500 miles, but yeah, it's not so bad. Anything
about the road that surprised you, that you weren't really expecting, that just kind of...
boy, not yet. I had done a 2-month trip and a 6-week trip last year.
Okay.
So I kind of had, those were my shakedown trips, so I kind of knew a bit about it.
Yeah.
Probably one of the things that shocked me most is I like to take back roads versus highways if I can. And just how many little towns out there are just dead or dying. It just, it shocked me.
I've seen that too. I've really, and I tried a lot of times, I'll try to stop and patronize businesses there just because I feel bad almost, you know?
Well, not only that, but a lot of those places, like you go in there for lunch or dinner.
They have good stuff, great service.
Really good stuff,
Yeah.
I like stopping in little towns like that and talking to people and then just be like, you know, if you were going out to lunch, where would you go? If you were going to dinner, where would you go?
Yeah.
And usually you get pretty good suggestions.
Yeah. I see you're into fly fishing. I do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
You got any other hobbies that...
Right now, not really.
Just nomading is a hobby in itself, you know?
I used to do a bunch of woodworking, but it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with like some of the, like this is nice. You didn't make that, you bought it and just installed it? Or?
Yep. Well, this cool. I did. This all I bought.
It looks nice.
Finished it.
Yeah. But it wasn't made to go here, and you made it fit here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made the whole thing myself. I didn't buy the doors or anything.
For a long time, I've always thought that one of these would be a really cool idea to make into a camper. How's the insulation factor hold up? Is it...
Well, I only put an inch of insulation in there, so I probably... that would be one thing I would change next time, is insulate it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Really, I got a 0-degree sleeping bag, and coming down here, I got caught in Iowa, and it was like 15 degrees out.
Yeah.
So I got a little portable propane heater, and I threw that on to get it warm enough to get in my sleeping bag. I stayed in the sleeping bag all night. So
I've noticed, I don't know about today's TVs, but years ago I had a little plug-in 13-inch color TV, and I was staying in my trailer, and it was really cold, and I'd get home every night and I'd have to go right into the bag until that TV ran for 20 or 30 minutes, and it would just enough to take the bite off of the air and make it tolerable.
I mean, if you can get it warm enough that you can get in your sleeping bag comfortably, you know, it is what it is at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I did another trailer, which I'd like to do at some point, one just a little bit bigger.
Can I ask what it costs to buy and what it costs to convert?
Well, I already had the trailer. I bought it used for $500.
Oh,
and
nice.
I probably have, I'm going to guess with everything, $2,000 into it. But I did, like, I built the cabinets and I just kind of.
That's pretty darn good altogether.
Yeah.
If I saw one of these for $5, I'd jump right on it just to store stuff cargo, you know?
But like the cabinets I built just to see what sizes and stuff they would work while I was on the road last year for the 2 months.
Yeah.
And then when I got back home, I wound up taking the stuff and I'm like, I didn't like the size of this cabinet. I didn't like, whatever. And I changed it and then I did it up as nice as I could. So.
Were there any worries, worried about your disability that you're like, will I not be able to do this? Or did you just go for it, Any concerns
oh, no,
that later
always,
you figured out weren't so bad?
There's always that fear that you're going to get into a situation that's not
even
really
me,
good.
I could things happen if I'm away from my doctor. I'm like, yeah.
But when you get hit by a drunk driver at 9:30 on a Saturday morning, it's like anything else is cake after that.
Right?
It's like,
That's a great way to look at it, yeah.
The fear is there, but you just kind of, like anything in life, you got to swallow that fear and just go out there and try it. And I mean, if you try and fail, at least you tried.
Fear is the biggest handicap of all.
Yep.
In your mind, if people think that's why I wanted to do videos and show people, not just other disabled people, but just anybody in general. A lot of people, they have no reason not to do this, and they want to, but they let the fear get to them, and they think they can't. Oh, there's going to be weird people that are going to come rob me, or the police are going to come get me, or a mountain lion or a bear is going to attack me. They just make excuses, and sometimes you just got to get over the excuses and just kind of go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm making an excuse. I'm doing bad camera work. The trigger's backwards, so I'm turning it every direction but the way I want to.
That's, and so far between the 2 trips, or, the 2-month trip out to New Mexico and then the one to the Upper Peninsula, Michigan.
Yeah.
I haven't met anybody yet at whether I was boondocking or whether I was staying at a campground that, I haven't had a decent conversation with, or what. I mean, I should say that like some of the snowbirds that live full time and they're great big diesel pushers, they get out, they hook up their electricity, they hook up their water, and they go right back
and don't want to see nobody or nothing.
But,
yeah.
I mean, to me, I get that. That's their home. But when you live in 60 square feet, then you kind of don't want to be inside all day, and it's easy to get out and talking to people. And
in about 11 years, I can count on one hand the number of people that I've had to move away from.
Right.
You know what I mean? And some of them started out as real good friends, and then I got to know them, and I'm like, I got to get out of here.
Right.
The one guy was making me so paranoid. He was constantly saying, oh, nobody can go to town around here without going to jail. And I'm like, he's like, they pull over every motorhome they see. And he said about Quartzsite, he says, if you go down there and you don't have mud flaps, they're going to give you $1,000 ticket the minute you cross the border. I've got mud flaps on this one, so I didn't worry about it. But my last motorhome, even though I knew the guy was crazy, it kind of always in the back of my mind. So negative people, that's the main thing. Negative people are worse than the ones, you can run off a thief, but a negative person wants to stick around, and
Well, like you said, you said earlier, I think that the 2 biggest disabilities people have are fear and bad attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, if somebody tells me I can't do something, I usually try it. And sometimes I can, and sometimes I can't.
That's how I am. If they tell me I can, it makes me want to do it even more, you know?
That little bit of rebel, a little bit of pirate.
Yeah. I had another question. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, of course. What is your... Okay, he just started a YouTube channel. No videos yet, but he's going to hopefully build it soon. Right. What is your YouTube channel?
Well, if I can figure out how to get it working properly, it should be One Leg in the Grave.
And, of course, that's the joke because he lost his leg.
I'm making fun of myself because, I've got 1 foot in the grave. I'm sorry.
That's right. One foot in the grave. Yeah.
Because I already have 1 foot in the grave.
Cool. Do you want to share your Instagram too, or? If not, that's cool. I just
I don't remember what it is right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'll probably try to set that up as the same thing, 1 foot in the grave. But
okay.
We'll see if somebody's already taken it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. Sometimes if they have, you can add like a character or like an extra letter or something, but it's not quite the same as being the first one to get it on there.
So it's I'm slowly working up to full, being comfortable with full time. So we'll see where that goes. But I mean, right now with, I literally in the last week spent $40, or 2 weeks I spent $40, and 32 of that was fuel to fuel up before I hooked the trailer up, and the other money was spent on lunch down in Quartzsite here.
Yeah, so, I had some good lunch there the other day.
Yeah.
I went to the barbecue place at Tyson Wells, and I was really impressed with that sandwich. It was way better than I expected.
Yeah, and so it's an inexpensive way to live. It's a great way to live because you're living out on BLM land for free, or if you want to, you can stay at campgrounds for a couple of nights, so you can have easy access to shower and whatever. But
and there's lots of discounts too if you're senior or disabled. The state parks have discounts. Right. The National Forest have, and parks. Yeah. Yep. So
yeah, you can get either a Golden Age pass or an access pass through them, and you get half off camping, and a lot of this national parks you get in for free. Yeah. I think maybe all of them.
Yeah, so. I'm pretty sure all of them. But I think you still have to do half off in their campgrounds.
Yes, it is.
But you get admittance for free, yeah.
Right, but I mean, I stayed in one up at Richard Rocks National Lakeshore last year in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. $7 a night, 8 campsites. I pulled in there for 2 weeks, and it was awesome. I mean,
I saw this really weird place just north of Joshua Tree. I meant to tell Sarah about it before she left, but it was this big stretch of these weird rock formations all covered in graffiti. And I was going to stop and film that on my way back, but now I think I'm going to be going a different direction. So maybe next year I'll get it.
Yeah, that's the cool thing is you just make notes of some place, and if you go back that way, you go back that way. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, and you'll have a destination, but it's the things that you don't expect en route to your destination that really make the trip interesting.
And that's another cool thing about little towns, because if you don't stop and talk to people or have lunch and ask them, what's interesting around here, you can pass by some really cool stuff without even knowing it exists.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I all for taking back roads and stopping and talking to people in little restaurants and little diners, and a lot of times you get it's going to be way better food than any of your fast food joints or truck stops. So.
And a lot of times the fast food's getting so expensive you can almost buy real food for the same price. You just got to wait a little while. Or cheaper. Yeah. I was in a town, I was going over to Arby's and Del Taco and spending $6-7 a meal, and then they had a real restaurant where I went and got a tri-tip sandwich for the same price, and it was real food, and it come with fries and stuff.
And depending on where you're at, like if you're on the East Coast and you're driving back roads and you see these barbecue joints, most of them look kind of scary, but that is some of the best food you're ever going to find. I mean, hands down. Little places, especially where they do a lot of stuff homemade, it's way better than that, and it's healthier.
What was the make of the cargo trailer again?
MTI.
Okay. And do you mind if I walk over to this other door and just kind of look in through there real quick? So here's his medical cooler that he got for a really good deal because it was used medical equipment, but of course medical equipment is made well, so.
And I got it's set up as a sofa right now, but if I move the cooler, I can slide the bed all the way out and have a actual full-size bed, so you can sleep 2 people.
Nice.
I usually leave it folded up as a couch just because it's kind of a pain in the butt to move in and out. Nice. Yeah, I've got my fly rod rack, and I've got extra tires for my wheelchair and my camera bag, and
you have an outdoor wheelchair too, an off-road one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's made by Renegade Wheelchairs.
Renegade Wheelchairs, okay.
It's got 8 speeds and disc brakes.
See, it's got Kenda tires. That's what I got on my scooter, Kendas. Very cool. Oh yeah, and of course the Max Air. Max Air are fantastic. I know
Max Air.
Max Air, yeah. That's a bigger one than mine. I have the Vortex because it fits right into the hole you already have.
That one did too. I didn't have to change the hole, but
nice.
Yeah, I think that's the Vort. I'm not even sure. I'm not even gonna guess.
Yeah.
I don't want to put it out there and it be wrong.
Okay, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to step out again and get one quick look of the whole rig from the outside.
No worries.
Thank you so much for letting me do the interview. And his YouTube channel, again, is One Foot in the Grave. Look it up. Hopefully he'll have some content on there soon. And I think he could have some pretty interesting adventures around the country. And
I tend to go places I shouldn't go, so
that makes it even more interesting. Yep. Cool. Thanks again, Bob.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I'm going to show your sticker on the front here, too.
That's fine.
So let's stand back first and give you guys a shot kind of what the whole rig looks like from a distance. Alright, I guess I should say my sign out. I never do that anymore. Do whatever you want, and don't let anybody tell you you can't.